Hey, what's up, guys? Just before the first video, we clapped at the same time, but we did 3 in October, and they were meant to come out in October, but due to export problems, they did not happen. So here they are, and enjoy.
Yeah, have fun.
As they say on the radio, let's do it.
And action, as they say, not in radio.
Actually, I think sometimes they do.
And action.
Actually, all right, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to At the Movies with Jon and Eric. I'm Jon.
I'm Eric.
And we are here to talk to you today about the movie It. We both just saw it Friday?
Friday
Yeah,
indeed.
Friday indeed. And we saw it separately, so we got different experiences. That's all right. That's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And we're gonna be talking about both the original and the new one that we saw on Friday, and they are both, I think, fantastic. They both have great qualities within them. Both have some clearly separate differences, but that's always good and refreshing with the new time and era that we live in. But yeah,
one being set in the 60s, one being set in the 80s, so there's
you got
27-year time difference.
that for sure, plus just different technical advances that we've had in the 27 years since the original in 1990,
and how the new one looks way better than the old one.
Yeah, and
because it didn't have a 90s HBO budget.
That is exactly true. It was a TV movie, so it didn't have the big budget of other huge horror movies back in those days, and especially not this budget. And it definitely plummeted a little bit for that, but it does have that campy feel that I think everyone enjoyed, and still got terrified because
100%.
It is it's a clown, and he's haunting your dreams, and he's out to kill you, and that's terrifying.
Actually, that's a great place to start. We'll start with Pennywise himself, and I'm gonna start with the original. I love Tim Curry. He's honestly one of my favorite actors as well as voice actors, because
yes.
I mean Nigel Thornberg. But yeah, I mean, he just captured, because when you see it the first time, you're like, oh, it's a funny clown. It's Tim Curry as a funny clown. You're not really scared at all. You're like, oh, this is a clown that I would actually love to have at my birthday party.
I love that.
Yeah. And then he throws in the teeth, and you're just like, oh, God, no.
Yeah, no, oh my God. The first time I saw that, I was terrified for, I'd say, a good 3 weeks. The first time I saw it was in the middle of the night with my brothers, and they're like, oh yeah, it's real funny, there's a clown, so it has to be funny. I was like, all right, whatever. And start watching it, and I'm like, this is not funny. There's no funny parts in it. There's kids getting terrorized, and this goddamn clown comes out of nowhere, and he starts killing people, and I'm like, I'm not scared of clowns normally, and he made me terrified of clowns, and he just did such a great performance, and I love Tim Curry doing it, because he was so spot on with the whole clown persona. It felt like a real clown, so it's like, all right, your guard's down a little bit, but there's something off about him. He has that dark, eerie, what the hell is wrong with this guy feel, and turns out, he has demon fangs, and he's gonna come and kill you, and
he's gonna eat you, and he's gonna eat your children and possibly you.
Yeah, because he doesn't really give a fuck about anyone. He's gonna kill whatever he wants.
He just needs to eat, and children are the easiest targets.
Yeah, it's like, come on, let's lure little kids down in a sewer, give them a balloon. Tell them they all float. It's awesome. Boom.
They all float.
and they eat, and he feels good, and he's also very terrifying.
Oh yeah.
But even more terrifying, I think, is the new version of Pennywise and Bill Skarsgård.
Oh yeah.
And he, oh man, like,
really
because he
good.
did the whole 180 from I'm an actual clown.
I'm a funny clown to I'm gonna eat you because I'm fucking terrifying and I look like something that's out of your nightmares.
And he played that up so well. From the first 5 minutes, it came out of nowhere, and I wasn't expecting them to show anything, because in the original, it just kind of cuts to Georgie falling down the sewer and getting eaten by it.
Yeah, they just show him. They show his fangs, and he's like, and then it just cuts to, oh, you assume the kid's dead. They didn't have the money to show it.
Exactly, and they couldn't, because it was a TV movie, and they couldn't show as much as they can now. And I would admit, I definitely that was one of the first jump scares of the movie for me. I was not expecting that, and Bill Skarsgård just opens his mouth up, just unhinges his jaw, shows 1,000 teeth, and just chomps down on Georgie's arm, and they showed all of it, and I'm like...
And that part, I wanna commend them, because they kept true... Like, they kept true to the original story pretty much the whole way through. It changed a couple key things, and a couple parts did kind of hinder it, but it was an overall great movie. But, like, the part they said in the original one, they didn't show anything, but they were like, oh, they found Georgie, and he was missing his arm. And they kept true to that in the new one. Georgie had his arm bitten right the fuck off.
Right. And, because... They wanted, in the original, they wanted to be able to show as much as they can and be true to the story, and that's why there's 2 parts and it's 3.5 hours long, and they try to jam pack everything into it, and obviously they couldn't put everything in. They couldn't, they didn't have the budget for all that, and that obviously like makes it a little different. That's why I like the new one, because it was able to show that and showcase all of that in the time frame that they had. Just because they devoted all of their time to the first part of the story and
didn't jump around.
Exactly, and that's why I liked how they did that, and gonna save that the rest for the the next movie and the next movie after that I assume that will definitely get made.
Oh yeah.
But it was just, the story just made me just even more cringe, because I just felt it was more eerie than the old version, and they
definitely,
they just
100%.
I think they just crushed it. I loved it.
It was great.
Oh man,
they had no shortage of just amazing cast for this new movie.
Oh yeah, every character head to toe played the part perfectly. There was all of the Losers Club occupants and participants they were just all perfect, and there are definitely differences from the original to this 100%. One, and like the roles that everyone played, and which is nice. Some parts of it, it's like, all right, they really changed that whole thing, and it could get, I guess, a little backlash if people start nitpicking. But I think it, stays true to the story, probably maybe a little bit more. But man,
like I said before we even started like doing this, they're both great. Like I love them both equally. And going back to the original, and you said that was the reason why you're afraid of clowns. Honest to God, true story. Going into middle school, that was like when I was in 4th or 5th grade is when I saw the movie for the first time, and then I was just starting to go from baths to showers. And after the shower scene, I fucking dreaded being in the shower, and because now when I go back and watch it, watch the original and watch the shower scene, I just laughed my ass off because it's great. It's so well shot, and like you see the hands come up and they, as I don't spill my water, they come up and they just like walk the hole to a giant hole, and you're like, that comedic timing.
Oh yeah, I thought that was it was just so funny because yes, and that definitely brings in the whole campy vibe that they had because I mean because they had to do that because they didn't have the budget, they couldn't. I mean, the special effects just wasn't there at the time. I mean, it was 1990 TV, and if you look at the TV shows during that time, they all had that same not very believable special effects for that kind of stuff, but it was so funny. I totally agree. Like it scared me because cause I mean, it was the steamy hot water. You're like, because it makes you think like, wow, what if I was in that situation? Yeah. What would I do? Because I do that all the time. I think to myself, wow, that would suck being in that shower because it would just burn, and then you just run away, and then you see this, creepy ass clown hand coming out, and you're just like, what the hell is this going? And he brings both of his hands out, it was a claymation that comes out. I'm just like, wow, that looks so great. And then he pops out. He's just like, hey, what's up? I'm here, Eddie. Let's rock and roll. And,
how's it going, girly boy?
and it's just like, wow, like what would I do in that situation? And I really don't know what I would do. I would just be like, I'm gonna die probably because this fucking clown just came out of nowhere, and
it's a fear that I think kind of stems all the way back to like Psycho. It's you're in the shower, you're just in such you're in a vulnerable spot. There's a fucking curtain over, like blocking you from outside or a door, whichever. Right. But you're just in there and you're in a case. Oh yeah. And if somebody comes up, there's no way out. You're up against the wall.
Yeah, exactly. And then you would have to jump over the tub to get out. It's wet, so you're gonna be slippery. You're gonna be falling all over the place.
And if you go to grab them, it's slick, and it's
and
just
either way, you're just gonna go on the ground, and it just portrays that so well in that because, I mean, he's a hypochondriac. He takes all these fake placebo pills,
gazebos as he calls
them. Gazebos as little Eddie calls them, little Eddie spaghetti. And, but he's freaked out and he's already vulnerable to the world, and it just picks it apart even more that he has to shower by himself so he doesn't get any germs on him, and he thinks to himself like, I'm in this open shower all by myself and this shit happens. Yeah. What the hell is this shit? Yeah. And I feel his pain. I wouldn't know what I would do. Like that would be a scary. I think that was probably one of the definitely the scariest I guess dreams that he had or visions of it.
Yeah. And I was kind of sad because I went into the new one hoping they would do the shower scene and then the other Eddie scene I was hoping they would do is when he was like, "This is battery acid, you swine," and and then as they're going into the house to finally kill Pennywise, he takes his fanny pack off and chucks it. And all of his stuff's in there, and I was like, no, he's not gonna do the battery acid, you swine. After I was already let down that they didn't do the trademark shower scene, because what I was really wanting is when all the shower nozzles come out, I was like, they have the special effects now, they can make them like snakes, and they can have them grab Eddie. Yeah, and that'll be fucking crazy. It'll be awesome. They didn't do it.
I know.
Missed opportunity.
I was definitely that was definitely one of those ones I was hoping that they would do. I definitely think even just with the shower nozzles coming like out and alive and all that, like
they don't even have to grab them.
The first one I mean they had a pulley system that were just going back and forth and all that.
They had a bunch of guys behind the wall with extended pipes going
and yeah, I mean, I just think even that would be, just crazy because what, it would be able to, like, contort and just, like, start spraying him right in the face and make him, like, get on the ground. And then that's whenever he pops up and he's just like, what up? I'm Pennywise. How you doing, Eddie? And I know.
How's it going, girly boy?
How you doing, girly boy? But, no, yeah, and they didn't do that. And then, but I think that's one of the differences because they definitely changed a lot of characters' motivations and how they act and all that. And I think Eddie is one of the largest character, I guess, develop from the first one because he went from this pussy in the first one, like the original. He was such like a do nothing. He didn't do anything. He kind of stayed up for himself at the end with the battery acid. Yeah. You swine. And I think that was that was his largest comeuppance, and then in the future he was still
to the story.
Yeah, right. And in the future he was still a little bitch. But I think in the original one, or not the original, the new one, he changes from night and day. He stands up to his mom and he's like, these are placebos, bitch. Yeah.
Where in the old one, he finds out from the pharmacist that it's not, like, none of the medication is real.
Right.
It's all
and
fucking sugar pills, and he's just like, he just denies it.
Right.
And then he doesn't.
Like, no.
Yeah.
And then he locks it away and he doesn't remember it. But
even in the back, like even in the second part of the original, he's in the back of his mind. He's like, I know it doesn't work, but I need it anyways.
And I'm just like, come on, like you're about to fight it whenever you're 30 years old. Like you gotta go into it. It's like a Leo
Bloom situation from the producers. He has his blanket and he doesn't need it, and he knows he doesn't need it, but he's just like, I can't part with it.
I gotta have it. Yeah. And then that's why I love. He was actually one of my favorite characters in the new one because he also was a lot funnier. I thought he was a lot edgier than the original. He was still that hypochondriac. He's still in the beginning. He was still like, I don't want anything to touch me. I'm a germaphobe. I don't want nothing. Yeah, and that's why why his dream was that leper coming after him, because that's just the epitome of disease and rot, and he's gonna get touched by it. Like hell no. Yeah. But he was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't need these pills. Yeah. These pills are what it did to me, and I don't need these anymore. I'm not afraid to be affected by anything because I know that it's probably not going to be that bad, and I'm not going to necessarily die or anything. If I get sick, I get sick. I get better. I take medicine, and like real medicine, like not fucking placebos,
not gazebos. They're bullshit.
And then you'll be fine. But
to piggyback off of that, though, they do really. That's the main story thing that I like more in the new one. Oh, one of the main story things that I like more in the new one. They stay true to Eddie's hypochondriac. Like he's resistant to all the things a hypochondriac would be resistant to.
Exactly.
And he's like, I don't want to do it. Like that's gross. There could be so much disease in here. Like it's
gray water.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gray water. No.
And like they definitely made that more apparent in the new one. Like in the old one, they like touched upon it, but he did everything a normal kid would do.
Right. Yeah. Because I think, I think in a way that it showed that he was resistant, but he was still
he still
scared
wanted
of
to
everything. He still wanted to be a kid and do all this stuff because they helped him out and like, hey, these aren't real kind of thing. It's all in your head. You just gotta breathe kind of thing. And they take they take the hit of the inhaler and like, this tastes like battery acid, and just like because it's not real. It's just it's not a real inhaler. He doesn't need it.
Also, how do they know what battery acid tastes like?
Exactly.
Are they just regularly drinking battery acid?
I mean, I guess. It was the 60s, so you really never know.
They did play with mercury in their hands. They didn't.
They did.
They didn't know.
They really did.
It was a different time.
Different era.
Yeah.
But luckily, times have changed, and we don't do that anymore.
Also, I do, since we're on the topic of the characters, I want to talk about the whole fact that Mike in the original one was the one that did all the research on Derry.
Right.
And then they took it away from him in the new one and gave it to Ben to make Ben more likable because they didn't touch upon Ben's home life in the new one.
Right, yeah.
They were like, because they're in it, they all have shitty home lives. It's like all their parents are fucking scumbags.
Right.
And
yeah,
and
they all suck.
Ben is no exception. His mom is loving, but he lives with his aunt and his cousin, and they both fucking suck.
So it's the typical relationship back in those days was that some parent gets misplaced and they have to go live somewhere else, and the person that they live with seems like it's a burden and everything. Like, why can't you just get your own place? And they just couldn't, and
because
so
his dad died in the army, which they didn't touch upon in the new one.
They didn't. Because I guess there were no necessarily wars.
Yeah.
In 88, so it was a little different.
I mean, there was Vietnam. They could have.
I guess they could. Yeah, they could have. But I feel like that would have been before.
Oh, it would have been. I guess it would have been.
If it was
Vietnam into Korea, like that whole thing.
It would be. Well, it'd be closer to like.
Desert Storm.
Desert Storm, the Afghanistan, the original like resistance. But yeah, no, that definitely was one of the huge points that I noticed that, in the first one, or the original, I keep on saying the first one, the original, Ben was still the bookworm, and he showed it that, he was still a bookworm. He was always in there. He's like, he did a bunch of research, but
he's not the one that uncovered everything about it.
Exactly. Mike was the one with the pictures, and he had he was actually in place in the school, and he lived there. And in the new one, he was this outcast homeschooled kid.
His parents died
there, and that's why he doesn't go to school or anything. But now they found him and everything. So that was a huge change, and I definitely thought it was I don't know if I necessarily liked it.
It was interesting.
It was interesting. It wasn't bad. It was just like,
it was a bold move on their part.
Yes, and that's what I mean by people could go and nitpick earlier, because that would be the part that people would start nitpicking, like, oh, you're taking that away from the African American race and all that. And I don't even want to get into that stuff, but it just
whitewashing is a huge issue right now.
Whitewashing is huge, and it just like, come on.
Yeah.
It's just a difference, because it would kind of be more true to the character that he was a bookworm, and he would kind of be doing the research because he doesn't have any friends, and that's why he chooses the library over going out in the summer, because he can find out information. He feels like the books are his friends and stuff, and then he starts doing research and doing research and doing research. And
to a montage.
And a montage and doing research. But I thought that was an interesting move. I guess it would make a little bit more sense, but they just kind of had Mike as the token black guy coming around, and he was literally just the token black guy. Like the ruffian.
He had a backstory that they like brushed over, because they're like, here are all these 3D characters. I guess he's a 3D character.
Yeah, and like he you only found out about his backstory from Henry, who starts talking about, I drive by your old house all the time, and it just makes me sick. Like, and that's a terrible thing to say. But that's the only thing you find out really about how his parents died. And
well, I mean, later on he does talk about it. He's like, the house caught on fire, and they were trying to get to me, and before they could get to me, it was too hot, and they burned up, and then the fire department saved me.
Yeah, and it just like, that didn't come out until like near the
like,
end.
Right at the end.
Yeah, and then like you're just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's why he had the nightmare about at the meat house that the fire and the people can't get out because that's what happened to his parents, and people could have put that together. Like obviously, that's what happened. So.
Yeah, but it's
why
nice.
it wasn't said earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
they could piece it together, but it is nice to have like a story that like tells you through like depiction of how it happened.
Right.
And
yeah.
I mean, for everybody else, they had that, but it was definitely just a matter of there's so many characters, we can't give them all the love.
Exactly, and that's why
some just have to fall back. And since he comes in like halfway through the movie in the original and halfway through the movie in this one, I guess it makes sense to have him fall by the wayside because it's like he needs less of the movie for people
tell his whole
thing,
to
tell his story.
Right.
And,
I mean, and it would I just think it was like obviously you see it from he doesn't want to live with his grandfather and he doesn't want to kill these goats and everything, and he has that side of it, and because he's seen death already, like he knows what that is, and his grandfather is very demanding, and it just like, all right, you get that part of it, but it's not like as fleshed out as like you said the other characters that you could actually see. All right, Eddie's mom is the opposite of what you would think that his mom would be, but she's still this harsh on him, and
he's the way he is because she makes him that
right
way. She's controlling,
because she wants to project what she wants of herself, but she doesn't want to do the work, so she's just gonna make him this pristine, perfect little boy that will never do wrong and never be hurt and never have anything wrong with him because she herself has so much wrong with her, and
they don't flat out say it, but you can definitely tell when he's walking out and like after he finally tells her to go fuck herself in the new one, and as he's walking out she like runs out and she's like, don't leave me like they all did, and I feel like it's like his dad walked out on them because she's so fucking crazy, and then so she was trying to keep him there so he didn't do the same thing. And
that's
now
her
because
fear.
now because she was doing that, he is leaving.
Right, because she was such a helicopter mom and so overbearing that no one would want to do that, so he wants to break away and be with his found family and his best friends and all that, and I mean it was a cool moment. I really like that. I mean,
great character development
for him. Like I think that he was definitely the biggest character arc in this one. I'm like from start to finish, he was the biggest, I think. I mean, like obviously you have Billy, who I mean obviously he has a lot to deal with. Georgie going dead. I think the coolest
and then his
part,
parents fucking suppressing that. They're like, we don't want to talk about it,
and it just like it hasn't been that long. I mean, it's been like 6 months since he went missing and all that, and like it's tough to obviously move on from that, and obviously Bill hasn't, and he still thinks she's out there, and his parents gave up hope. He maybe he just, I don't know. I mean, it just a kid's point of view is just like he's still out there. He's still out there, and his parents figure out just stop. Just shut up. I don't want to hear it anymore.
We don't want to deal with it.
And it's tough because it's like you can't really subject your kid to that. You can't just be like, hey, shut up, don't do that. Especially with that, you gotta like talk to him like they found his body, like he's gone, he's not coming back,
which they didn't do in the original. His body was found in the original. In the new one, they didn't find his body.
Exactly.
His arm was bitten off, and then
they had
Pennywise took his body.
Right.
And then when they went into the fucking well,
the well house,
that's where all the dead people were.
Yeah.
Because he was still eating on them periodically.
Yeah, he's just taking little nibbles. He,
Yeah.
you know, oh god, I'm a little hungry.
I'm gonna eat a piece of you and then wrap you up in web
I'm
and
gonna
save you
take-
for later.
I don't want to eat too much.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my figure.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really an hourglass kind of shape. Just kidding. I'm a giant triangle looking fucker.
You don't just keep this shape for eons not trying.
And that's what he does. And he doesn't stop. He doesn't quit. He hasn't lost a step. And it
Yeah.
is
You
beautiful.
got people down there that are from like 1863, but he's like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, and
That's
I'm
still
surprised.
good.
I'm surprised that, you know, there wasn't any cooler stuff back there.
Yeah.
I feel like there
Well,
should be like
That also wasn't the shadow realm where he's from.
yeah,
You
that's
have to
very
think about
true.
how
That's
much
just-
how much he has stockpiled there.
yeah, he probably has all of his trophy corpses up there. He's like, oh, I'm gonna save you. Yeah, I'm gonna save you for a while.
I wonder how Richie's gonna do in the Upside Down.
Oh, jeez. Oh my God, Richie.
Yeah. He lost his friend in the Upside Down. How many other friends is he gonna lose?
I know. He probably. I'm surprised he wasn't freaking out more. He was like, wait, I definitely remember this happening somewhere.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh wait, my brother, my friend. Oh shit, my other friend. Oh my God, they're all there.
Yeah.
Oh no, what the hell?
Yeah. So, on characters again, your favorite one.
Oof, favorite one.
Start with the original. And then
The
do
original.
new one.
Okay, the original. Oh, my favorite character in the original part one of the children's stories. I would have to say young Richie in the original. Seth Green. I thought was so funny. He had so many one-liners. It was so great. He was perfect for little Richie, and
He's just that personality in
oh
real life.
he's just that wisecracking nerd that probably got beat up a lot and
Can relate.
exactly.
Without the getting beat up part, because I lucked out and I was bigger than most.
Yeah,
So,
that always helps.
yeah.
That always helps to be a little bigger. But oh yeah, he I thought he was definitely great. A little honorable mention. I would say. I think Bill. Bill's always that solid. Like I think he was a little
lead.
Yeah, he's the lead. I think he was a little annoying. R.I.P. John Brandis. But I think he played the character very well, and he was a very solid acting job. And I thought if he wasn't so over the top, I think that's what happens with a lot of those characters. Though they were just a little over the top because they had to be, and they were trying to play up the TV audience, and so I think that's kind of a little problem with that. But like I thought those two were a good combo. How about you?
For the original, I'm gonna have to probably say, I'm gonna say it's Billy, just because he had the most character development in the original.
Yeah, oh yeah,
and
definitely.
he was the most 3D character. Like he had everything going for him until he didn't.
Yeah, until he did not. Went a little AWOL, but
Yeah. And then in the new one, I'm gonna have to say it was Finn Wolfhard as Richie, because my God, there wasn't a minute where he was on screen that I wasn't laughing.
I definitely agree with that. I would say for my pick for my favorite character in the new one, it would have to be either Richie or Eddie. I think those two butting heads. It was just such a funny thing.
Yeah.
Because in the original, it was Richie and Stu butting heads, and those were the buddy, of more than the new one. It was more Richie and Eddie going at it, and I thought that chemistry was so great. It was so funny, and they kill it. But yeah, I would have to say Richie. I thought he was
he
was so unbelievably funny. I obviously I knew he was good from Stranger Things, and I thought he was gonna kill it, but I didn't think he was that funny. I didn't realize he was. I mean, obviously, a lot of it goes to the writers.
Oh,
but
yeah, definitely. but he has that timing.
He had that timing that he definitely picked up from Stranger Things, but
Yeah.
he was just, wow.
Well,
it was so great.
On top of that, like, in just watching, because I watch Game Grumps, and Finn Wolfhard was a guest grump on there, and it's just an hour and a half of them sitting there just spitballing shit while they're playing video games, and he had so many, like, he's just so witty, in real life,
is.
and like that's for somebody his age to be as successful as he is now. It's kind of like a Macaulay Culkin situation where it's scary,
right.
but at the same time good for him, because like nobody fucking thrust him in there. He is doing this all on his own fruition, and he's killing it.
Oh, I definitely agree, and yeah, he definitely reminds me of that Macaulay Culkin character. It'll be interesting if he starts jumping into more and more movie roles. I mean, obviously this is a big one.
I have a feeling he's gonna definitely specialize in being like, when they do 80s throwback movies, he's gonna be in that, just because
he looks like he could be from the 80s.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
he has
definitely an 80s.
He has the same look as John Daly Francis from like Freaks and Geeks. Like, he looks the same, and it's uncanny. Like I whenever I think Freaks and Geeks, if they'd made a remake, I would have Finn Wolfhard as the title character of Sam Weir, because I mean, I feel like they're the same character. I bet he based a bunch of that wittiness off of him, as well as, you know, a lot of different 80s hilarious characters. But he has everything going for him. I think definitely he's an 80s throwback guy. I think he just has that, even the jokes, like, it just like, because that those jokes were so, you know, 80s style. Like, I mean, obviously a lot of dick jokes, like,
when dick jokes were starting.
Right, those were like that's all that they would be talking about, and like, he killed it because he probably lived that. I think in a past life he was, a child actor in the 80s. And he's probably just reliving his glory days through this new kid.
He's like the spirit of the actor that played John Connor. What's his name? I don't remember his name. But like from Judgment Day. But it's like his acting spirit after his career died. Just transferred over to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I totally agree. Like,
it's like he
I
did.
can't think of his name either.
And I'll give him this. He did Terminator 2, and he was pretty good in it. And then he did Pet Sematary 2, and Pet Sematary 2 is not a good movie.
No,
but
it is not.
He did a very good job in that.
Yeah, I mean, he did some decent things until he dropped off. I mean, he
did a lot of drugs, which most child actors do.
That's what happens, and that's what I think Finn Wolfhard won't do. I don't think he is.
He's good.
That type. I don't think he. I think he's
also,
more that.
He has a good group, a good posse around him. So good posse around him to keep his head straight.
Oh yeah, I think the whole Stranger Things cast, and now the whole It cast. I think they are all just gonna bond together and just be one super group. Like, how cool would that be? I think everyone would love to see a crossover between It and the cast of Stranger Things, and they just go at like an Avengers style movie that they just have all of these kids just kicking ass, taking names, solving mysteries. They could be the Scooby-Doo of the future. They could be the Stranger It's. I don't even know. Like, they would be
the Stranger It's.
they would be like something bionic, and they would have like a space station that they just solve these ridiculous crimes, and they're like, oh well, we have another Stephen King related mystery to solve. It's at the Overlook Hotel. Okay, let's just stop this guy real quick.
It's at the Overlook Hotel where they constantly overlook the issues.
Yeah, they're just like, you know what? Domestic violence. Nah. That we don't live in that era.
She tripped into a door several times. Trust me.
That's how she broke her arm, I swear.
That's how she broke her skull in 5 places.
My son? Nah. I don't even know who he is. He's just some annoying kid that rides his tricycle all over the place. And that's where, like, you know, Finn Wolfhard just, like, kicks down the door and both characters simultaneously.
Oh, man. That would be great.
Hey, you.
I think he just came up with a multi-million movie idea.
I know. That's what the Dark Tower should have done. They should have just skipped.
Does not make it.
It would just that, but just like skip over the whole gunslinger shit and just go straight into let's just cross over every universe and just say fuck it and have it come in and just be like, what up? My name's Pennywise, a clown. I'm a dancing clown.
You know what's funny about Dark Tower, since we're on Stephen King already, is that
nothing.
No.
The whole movie is a joke.
That Stephen King said he liked the movie before it came out. But that was a red flag for everybody because every movie that came out before he said he hated.
Yeah. But he also made a couple movies and they were all very bad.
Yeah.
But I think he probably just liked it because it was I don't even know.
Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba, and he didn't want to offend them.
Kind of true to the story, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's surprising. But if you really go by that, yeah, Stephen King doesn't necessarily like a lot of his movies unless.
Yeah. I don't blame him.
Yeah, because a lot of them are just tough. I mean, it's. I'll say
it's not his fault.
Tough.
Yeah.
It is not necessarily
it's a fucking full novel, and you're trying to compress it into at most 2.5 hours.
Right, and it's these long 500, 600 page books, and you have to leave out stuff. You have to leave out the crazy shit that it goes long into this book. Like these people don't realize, but like they're just.
Yeah, it's
complicated shit that he writes. Like there's some things that you would be surprised to hear that are in some of his books if you haven't read them, and you can't always put those in movies.
You have days and days of character development, sometimes months put into a book, right? And then you have to take that and bastardize it into a movie, and you have to cut out parts that you're like, it's really key, but I don't have time to fit it. And it's not key enough to need to keep.
Right, and you can't. Yeah, and then that short 2-hour, 2.5 hour time frame, you can't. You have to leave some characters kind of out. So like you focus on the main people, and you leave some people on the wayside, and then you know some people that read the books, and you're like, wait, why didn't I hear anything about this guy? They talked about him for 1 second, or they just. They just, kind of said his name real quick or whatever, and a little passing by, little nod to the book or something, and then you're like, well, that guy was a huge part in the book, or she did a huge, substantial role, and she's not in it at all. Like what's going on? And you just like wait for it,
or they have the situation of like with the Lord of the Rings movies where there's already a shit ton of characters they're doing, and they don't fucking develop any of them enough. And I mean, I love the Lord of the Rings movies. They're all great. Fantastic. But they don't develop those characters enough for the amount of time that they have. And then they threw in Legolas. He's not even in the books.
Yeah, he was.
There was just a character. They were like, they need an archer.
Yeah, and then he just came out and just like, all right, well, he was in The Hobbit, but we'll just pass over that. Maybe he's just an overarching whatever, but who really knows? Maybe the people that read the books, but but no, it's I mean, it's the same thing. It's just like, they have so many characters, and you have to have some guys that are just there to be there, and like, all right, it's
they're a connecting character that
right made. It's like, it's in the book, they're in there now in the movie, they're just there to save face pretty much. And we're done with it. Like, you know, Pippin and Merry, like that's what I felt like in that series. I was just like,
they're just the comedic twins.
like they definitely had more development. There's more to them, and they just were there for comic relief. And I think that's, you know, in the new It, I think that's what happens to some of the characters, like Stu. Stanley.
Stanley.
Stu, Stanley, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
same person.
Like
who
we were
really
talking,
cares?
like we were talking about before. Stan sucked in the original, sucks almost as much in the new one.
And that brings us to the dislikes. Who's your favorite character, or your least favorite character? My least favorite character.
I mean, down the board, it's Stan.
Right, exactly. It's Stanley. It's all that matters. It's Stanley. He was annoying as shit in the first original. I didn't grow to like him at all. He was a denier from the start. It's like, oh, I didn't see him. Like, bullshit, you saw him. Let's be honest.
He's a denier, and he's also the person that's just there.
Yeah,
both movies.
He doesn't say anything. Like he says like one or two things. He agrees with Richie, and he's like,
not to bash the actors that played both of them. It's just the character.
Right.
It's just a shitty character, and like, sorry
no one
for
really
your luck.
wants it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like King Joffrey in Game of Thrones. Like,
everybody hated
knows
him.
You have to hate him, but
I do love how that actor portrayed him.
Right.
It was great.
He was good. Jack Gleason's great, and then he quit acting because everyone hated him as Joffrey.
Well, because he was like, that was a huge role. I don't think I'll ever top it, and I don't ever want to try.
And
he's like, I'd rather come in on a high note and leave on a high note.
And it's true. That's very true. And that's what Stan is to me. He's just there, annoying. He's a denier, even though he's seen it. Like in the new one,
they made him more 3D.
Right. He helped a little bit. Yeah. Like,
and they had a backstory.
Instead of the Boy Scouts that he was so adamant about and devoted to in the original, he was devoted to, you know, his faith and religion and Judaism, and his dad's a rabbi. And, you know, he's coming up for his bar mitzvah, so he has to, you know, memorize the Torah and all that, and he has trouble with that, and he just can't do it, and his dad gets mad at him, and because he should know better, he should already know it, and just like he just doesn't want to, and it kind of sucks for
his dad. Is also more the fact that he's like, oh, I'm the rabbi's son. He's the rabbi's son. What will they say about me if my son doesn't know the Torah?
Right.
And it's like, who cares what they say about you? You're the fucking rabbi. And also on top of that, if you're a priest, it's the same thing. Who cares what anybody fucking says about you, unless you're a child molester? But
right. You don't want that.
But who cares what anybody says about you? You're working in the eyes of God. And even if you are fucking overstepping your boundaries, and I'm not telling anybody they should overstep their boundaries, but if you're doing what you think is right, then that's all that matters.
Yeah. And of course, that's where they also do a good job about alienating the parents, and every parent in both the original and the new one, they're all a bunch of dicks. There's not one.
Oh yeah.
There's not one adult figure that you really want to succeed, or you just hate all of them. Like you literally hate all of them. Yeah. Even Bill's dad. Like
Bill's dad.
I wanted to like Bill's parents because I feel like, you know, that would be the family that would be normal.
Yeah.
But with losing the son, obviously they're gonna be on edge.
But at the same time,
they were just awful. They were just so mean and just like.
At the same time, I can't group them together because they don't really give enough of Bill's mom for you to really.
Yeah, I mean, she just playing the piano really creepily.
She plays the piano, and then her youngest son dies, so she's fucking devastated, and that's all
she's
you
foreshadowing his son's death, and they're like, "How the hell did you know that?"
She plays melancholy piano. Her son dies. Coincidence? Nah, because Stephen King wrote it.
No, because that's the whole point of it.
Yeah, that's the whole story. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just.
Oh no!
Action.
That should be good. All right. Sorry for the brief intermission.
Sorry for the brief interruption.
Sorry for the break. So the camera just died, but anyways, pick up.
Anyways, yeah, no, like, just parents suck. All of them were. You kind of just wanted the worst thing that happened to them, and then some of them they did. Like, whenever I'll say this, whenever there's 2 moments that I was like, hell yeah, let's go. I was pumping my fists. I was ready to fight with them.
I think I know the ones that you're talking
Both
about.
of them involved Beverly.
Yeah.
And both of them were just badass. The first one was whenever they meet it the first time, and they're in the well house. It was originally Bill, Richie, and good old Eddie Spaghetti,
and everybody
running
else
around,
is outside.
being little bitches. I'll say this: the first one who started talking about I don't want to go in there was Stanley because he's a little bitch, but they pulled straws. Those 3 went in. Bill, obviously badass. I thought he was such a badass character. I think from start to finish, I think he was like, I'm gonna find this motherfucker. And I think it was, that showed a lot from the original to the new one is that he was more, I'm gonna get this sucker. But he, he charged in, going in no matter what. They start going. They go through the house. Richie finally gets his nightmare, and that clown scene was very terrifying. But then they make it down. They get separated. Obviously, Eddie breaks his arm, falling through the ceiling, and that was messed up. His arm looked fucked up.
Oh yeah,
that was really. I was like, I definitely jumped a little bit whenever I saw his arm. But then It came out, and he was just like, the guys were on the ground. They were defenseless. They were all gonna die.
Yeah.
And then there comes fucking
trapped.
Bev, boom, with a goddamn metal spike through the mouth. Like,
so good.
It was. I was breathless.
You were like, let's get this shit going.
I was ready. I was ready for them to just start wailing on him. I didn't know how long it was in the movie.
That's not until the second part.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. I thought I was just like, all right. I didn't know how long they're gonna take this. I don't even know what part of the movie this is, but I'm ready for them to just start beating the shit out of them.
And that was like right in the middle of them.
And that's what. It was right in the middle, and I loved how they can actually show all of it, and they showed his mangled face, and he was all disfigured, and he was still creepy as hell, and he just crawls into the refrigerator and all that shit, and I was just like, let's go, Bev. Let's go. And then the second one was whenever her dad was coming to get her, and, he finds the love letter that Ben wrote, and he was like...
January.
Burn January fire.
My heart burns there too.
Fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
But then he finds that, and he's like, "Oh, you cheated on me, boy, girl, whatever."
you look
like a boy. You look like a boy. But he starts chasing after her, and then he's gonna go rape her most likely. I would assume.
Yeah, that's what he does.
And then she hides in the the bathroom. Obviously, she's in the tub. Like, where else is she gonna be? And then, boom, with the goddamn top of the toilet.
Yeah,
holy shit! And he was down for the count. He was bleeding all over the place. Unfortunately, right after that was another jump scare. It was definitely a jump scare of mine.
Oh yeah,
I was not.
The funniest part about that, I knew it was coming from the trailer.
Oh yeah, I
knew it was coming. As soon as it happened, I still fucking jumped.
Oh, I know. I was definitely thinking something was gonna happen. I didn't realize it was gonna be her, because that that was a new part that they threw in. I thought it was gonna be someone else. I thought maybe it was gonna be Stan, or someone like that. I didn't think it was gonna be Bev, but you know, it makes sense. It would be her, I guess. Kind of sexist, but whatever.
Damsel in distress. Oh,
dang, you know, it was the 80s. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But
write your congressman if you want movies to change.
yeah. Please write. Call your congressman about that.
Also, there would be more female lead characters if they didn't inherently, if they weren't inherently written to suck.
Yeah, that's usually what happens, and
That's why I thank God for Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
She kicks ass.
You go, Wonder Woman. Go women directors and writers. Let's go. Let's give a round of applause for those guys.
I mean, yeah,
but
also Duke Nukem was written by women, so
yeah, that's also true.
That's funny.
That's a good one. That's a good game.
Yeah.
But but those two pumped me up and then scared me to death a little bit. But I was just it was awesome. I was just like, let's go, Bev, you got it. But then people started growing balls all of a sudden. And then the little fight between Richie and Bill in the sewer, I was like, really, Richie? Are you really gonna do this right now? I love you so much, and you're gonna pull this shit? Like, I kind of got annoyed with him whenever I was like, I don't want to go down there. I don't want to do this. I don't blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. You suck.
Because he finally realized that he could die.
Yeah, and I'm just like, let's go, fucking Richie. And he just starts beating him with a bat. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then they just started going at him, and I was like,
kicking his ass.
I also love how Bill shot his little brother with a little bolt gun.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
CO2 bolt gun.
That was really funny. I was in it. I wasn't expecting them to go that far. I thought he was just gonna get like close, and then he would turn around, and then there would be Pennywise, and he would grab him or something, and then he would try to shoot but then miss. But I did not think he was just gonna go up and be like, hey, Georgie, I love you, but you're not Georgie. Ba-boom. Crushed him.
Execution.
Yeah,
sunglasses drop.
He was like that was that you gotta bring David Caruso in there and be like,
you were my brother,
but now you're not
anymore.
Yeah.
If only he actually did the double take where he takes the glasses off. If only. Get caught on the microphone. And then boom.
If only he was like, I don't care about my life anymore. Yeah. So I'm gonna do this.
I mean, he already said he doesn't care about his life anymore. He's on CSI.
Miami, which is also canceled. So it's also canceled. So no more of that. Too bad for that.
Being an English teacher.
Yeah, he's back to being red hair and really hard to cast in roles.
Yeah, because it's like we're trying to cast somebody, but their acting skills are like Nicolas Cage,
but worse. Like I would
toss
say,
up.
I mean, at least Nicolas Cage has been in some movies that he's been nominated
because of
for
his fucking
Oscars.
famous uncle.
Yeah, I guess. But
And also because The Rock had Sean Connery.
I'm not even saying that movie got nominated for an Oscar. I'm saying he got himself for like Snake Eyes, like those. The
Gone
90s.
60 seconds.
The 90s. Nick Cage, whenever he didn't blow all of his money away and he had to do those roles.
As he was blowing his money away.
Right. He got that money, and then he was like, whoa. I
could buy a castle.
Wow. I can... Wait, what? I can buy a dinosaur head? I'm going to buy that immediately.
It's fucking great.
Fucking great. Bees. Bees.
That's my favorite emotion.
And then that's what he turned into, and he's like, shit, I gotta make movies. And no matter what movie it is to pay off the IRS.
Strange connector to this conversation. Also, like Pennywise, Nicolas Cage is a clown.
And also, like Nick Cage,
Pennywise is a murderer.
He also comes out every 27 years.
Pennywise is a murderer of hopes and dreams, not unlike Nicolas Cage.
And his face is much like Pennywise, as in it's white and his teeth are very scary.
It's white and very malleable.
And probably taste like prosthetics.
Mm-hmm. He learned it from his octopus.
He learned it from Face Off. That's
No,
what he learned it
no,
from.
he learned it from his octopus.
That's true.
He said it in an interview.
His octopus is a psychic. That's very true.
Well, he said in an interview that he has. Well, I don't know if he still has it, but it was a pet octopus, and he learned his acting by standing there and watching his octopus and imitating it.
I would love to see that video.
Yeah, I would love to see that too.
I'd love to see Nick Cage trying to crawl around like a octopus.
Octopus.
In the middle of an octopus. Fuck me. Let's take that back from the top.
Yeah,
I really wish that I could see that video of Nick Cage acting like an octopus. That would be hilarious to see.
Just so you know, not editing that.
Just let you know that I already edited for you, so I did the rewind button. I already did the rewind button.
Yeah, you already did it. Yeah. So I don't have. Thank you. You actually saved me some time. I don't have to go back and edit it.
Yeah,
you did it for me.
See,
but I do have to come up with an intro for the podcast for the video because I honestly don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do for it.
Yeah, neither do I. Why don't you, viewers out there? Why don't you submit your ideas? What should we
submit your ideas after it's already on YouTube with the intro?
Yes, and then we'll change it so we.
And then I will do my best to change it a little bit.
And then we won't change it at all.
I feel like that would be funny though, to just put it up with the main intro that I make, and then
halfway through like us talking about the first segment, just bring it up again.
Well,
just like what the hell
take
happened?
all their suggestions. And then like pick just one that I like, and just like do a drawing of what they say, and like superimpose it on the end, and like draw fucking tape over it.
Yeah, it's literally just his drawing. Like we take a picture of it,
or I like have the TV there, and the last screen is the end of the intro with an actual drawing taped to it, and I just take a picture of it.
That, or I'll just hold it and you just take a picture of me, but you can like see me in the background.
Yeah, it's like there's a TV, there's a TV, and you're holding it on there, like trying to make it. Yeah, and you can see the fingers holding it into place.
And then it's like a little askew, and you're just like, God, I can't get this straight. Sorry. And you're just like, whatever, I'm gonna take the picture, and it's done. And then we put it up, and then it'll be fantastic.
Oh yeah, and people would love it, and people would love it, and
then people
would not be aggravated. Yeah, I did that the second time because I was like 5 feet in front of the microphone.
You can't hear me. I am a man that you cannot hear. What did we else? We got.
I guess we've been going for probably like over an hour. I believe we've been going for like an hour and a half, but.
Probably.
I mean, you know what? I'm not putting a time limit on this podcast.
This is
the episodes. The episodes of podcasts, I feel like, are should flow, and they go for as long as they fucking need to go.
Yeah, you heard it here.
Yeah, you heard it here. And I mean, even though intermittently the flow was kind of halted by us derailing our own conversation about it to talk about Nicolas Cage and bullshit like that,
which we apologize for.
Yeah, I mean that's
I know you all really want to hear what we have
magic.
to say.
That's the magic of a podcast. We can be entertaining and people will listen.
Or not entertaining, and the people still would listen because they're just like, maybe there's something.
Or we'll think we're being entertaining and we'll be a fucking tragic mess, and people will watch it just to laugh at us. Which, I mean, win-win.
And a win-win for us.
Yeah. Either way, we win.
Win-win-win. That's all we do.
I mean, my whole life is to make a fool of myself for an audience. So, I mean, if I'm doing it... If I'm doing it and I'm happy with doing it, then yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it makes sense.
Speaking of doing it and being happy with doing it, Pennywise is happy with killing little kids.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about anything. He just likes doing his own thing for centuries now, and
yeah,
I don't think he ever is gonna stop.
I'm pretty sure every
one,
time he gets killed, it's like they just temporarily they stop that cycle,
and then he comes up for another 27 years. So he's gonna die anyways.
It's like you kill him before the end of his cycle, and then 27 years later he comes back from that day that you killed him.
Exactly, but like obviously they always wait until the very last day, and then it's just like he was gonna go to sleep anyways. So it's like
30 years.
Like who cares? Like
yeah.
It's like a polar bear. He already ate enough kids. He's not going to eat anymore. You're just poking the bear a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he goes to sleep. But they had to do it once.
Yeah.
So they knew that they could do it, but
yeah, they had to murder him once. And then murder him a second time.
I think, well, I don't know if getting the pole through the mouth would necessarily kill you. Excuse me. It would definitely hurt. You would need a lot of plastic surgery, but I don't think you would necessarily die.
Depends. But I mean, in the second part of the original, they killed him a second time.
Yeah, that part
where
was
they
ridiculous.
ripped his heart out.
That was such a weird part. I completely forgot about it. I haven't watched it in forever. We watched it yesterday, and I completely forgot about that part.
Yeah.
I remember the spider and all that, but I forgot how they actually beat him.
Yeah. And after he killed Eddie, they're like, "We don't hate you. We don't fear you anymore. We hate you, and we are better than you somehow."
And then they somehow they walk up to him, and the spider's no longer as huge as it looks. So they're like, "Oh wait, we probably could have taken this down anyways."
The claymation spider that was 20 stories is now smaller than John Ritter.
Yeah, and then they just like push it over. It was so funny. It was just like they
pushed it over and started kicking in his stomach,
and then somehow they just ripped his heart out. And I'm just like, how did that escalated way quick? I'm like, what in the world just happened?
Way quicker than anyone anticipated.
And it was like held it up like it was Simba, like, oh yeah, it's the newfound son, and he dies, and they're just like, oh, all right, we can go now.
It was like, what was I gonna say? Fuck.
It's like Indiana Jones shit.
Yeah.
Fucking Temple of Doom.
It was when they pushed him over and ripped out his heart. It was about that time you realized their special effects funding was about drained.
Yeah, they were like, we can't really show anything anymore, so
they were like,
do a shadow.
They're like, we had skeletons, and that was a lot of money. We had people transforming into it slowly, and that cost a lot of money. Even though it was just like filming the scene with 3 different cameras 3 different times.
It still took a lot of money.
It still took a lot of money.
And then just that whole area of the web people and the cocoons and all that, and just
the
like,
claymation.
Yeah, the rest of the claymation of the movie. It just died way too quickly, and then it just like
teeth. The teeth, the teeth that now when you watch it back, when he puts his head down, he totally just goes like that, and then save film.
I did it, guys.
It's like, don't worry, guys, I got this. I can do it fluidly. Hey, girly boy.
Does that look good? Does that look good?
It doesn't look good, Tim. It looks terrifying for 90s kids.
And that's what we want.
Yeah. And that is what we want. It's going to be on HBO. HBO is Channel 5. And everybody who has a TV in their house probably pays for HBO. So the kids are just going to be sitting there like,
what is this? It's a clown. That looks cool. Shit. And now I'm terrified forever.
You want a clown for your birthday, Bobby? No!
But you love clowns. Fuck no, I don't. You see that movie, It? Ah, fuck.
What is it?
It is scary.
It comes in the night.
It follows.
It's in the fog. Get it? Because they're also spider creatures.
It's in the mist.
Oh, it was the mist. The mist are the spider creatures. The fog are the fucking pagan spirits.
Yeah, I don't. That's yeah.
That are in the middle of what is it? Maine.
Of course, it's always in the middle of.
It's always Maine.
It's always Maine.
Speaking of Maine, Mainliners.
Mainline, son of a bitch.
You missed it, Dan.
Mainline's some fucking crack.
No.
Mainline, some heroin.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to Jon&Eric podcast.
Guess what?
Making appearance.
I'm not editing you out.
Pegher, everyone.
But yes. So I mean, honestly, I think we've pretty much just tackled the whole movie, both of them, front to back.
We did.
I mean, it
I'm
wasn't
just
in order.
I know it wasn't. It was like a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
It was all jumbled up and non-linear, but
Yeah.
we got to the point.
It was non-linear, not like it. I mean, the original was non-linear. I'll go
Right,
with that.
it goes back and forth as many times as any movie I've ever seen, and it was just sometimes it was a little drag, but you know it served a purpose. But
Yeah. It served a purpose.
it served a purpose. That's our key word. Tell us
That's
about it.
the special word for the day.
And that is Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
I think it is too. I think I'm excited for the next one. I think
Hell yeah.
it'll be awesome.
Chapter 2 is gonna be fucking great.
I heard the It sequels director wants Jessica Chastain to play Beverly.
That's who I was thinking they were gonna get to play Beverly, because I was like, Jessica Chastain, she's a redhead, and she's
a redhead.
the
I
most
heard-
famous redhead right now, other than Amy Adams.
I also heard Amy Adams would be I thought of that name and I was like, you know what? She would actually do pretty
Yeah.
well. I think she would be a cool addition. I think both of them would do a awesome job.
either one.
I think
I wouldn't.
Jessica Chastain has more of the drama roles now, and I think she would do a real good job with that. But I mean, after watching Nocturnal Animals, I can see Amy Adams just knocking that out of the park too. Plus, they have like the same eyes, and they kind of have similar noses. Plus, they are also redheads, so you know that also works. But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see how they do it.
Excited.
I heard a bunch of different things. I heard it could have been a Pennywise origin story kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like
27 years later type of thing. So it's in
They're
the
saying-
2017.
they're
set.
saying it's a toss-up. What they're doing there is they're enticing people.
Yeah,
they're like,
'cause they like,
it's
what
a
do you want?
toss-up.
And then
We're
they-
gonna do both. We just want to make sure you guys
Exactly.
want us to
Plus
do both.
they'll just be like, all right, which one does everyone really want? And
Well,
then
what
we'll
they
do it.
want, what they want right now is the wrap up to the
Exactly,
story. They want the
obviously.
wrap up. They want part 2, and then
And then after that,
do
they'll be like, let's
Pennywise,
fuck around and just do Pennywise origin story, and then it would be just more of the It, but in the 200s.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up
Let's
there.
wrap it up.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Check you later, and thank you, Eric,
Thank you, John.
for joining me on this co-hosting on my podcast.